smoke. OVS, Old Virginia smoke. Old Virginia.
This podcast is brought to you by the Kansas City Barbecue Store, the official provider of barbecue supplies to listeners of Pitmaster. And you don't want to miss out on this discount from the Kansas City Barbecue Store. From smokers and fuel to rubs and sauces, the Kansas City Barbecue Store has everything and anything you could possibly want. Make the Kansas City Barbecue Store your one-stop shop for all your outdoor cooking needs. As a listener of the OVS Pitmaster podcast, you can get 10% off of your order this spring by using the code PITPOD, P-I-T-P-O-D, all caps, for online orders at www.thekansascitybarbecuestore.com. This podcast is brought to you by BarbecueData.com. BarbecueData.com is your one-stop shop for all of your barbecue competition data. Historical data, calls, wins, placements, everything under one roof. It's a great way not only to track yourself in the standings, but also to track how you improve your scores from year to year. Listeners of this podcast can receive 20% off of a new subscription to BarbecueData.com with the code PITPOD. That's one word, all capital letters, P-I-T-P-O-D, PITPOD. So check your team scores, check on others, and do it all on BarbecueData.com.
Hey, it's producer Chris, and we have part 2 of Old Virginia Smokes conversation with many friends and competitors when they were in Wise, Virginia just a few weeks ago. Enjoy.
Kim never confirmed it, but you were betting Kim and kept. But I already can tell you, Little G's like, fucking bring it, make it 40.
Look, I'm here to tell you, if I'm betting on either one of them,
Little G.
I'm betting on G.
I'm taking a side bet on
I'm
40.
betting on G.
That's what I should have done. Instead of putting my 20 in, like I want to get in, I'm gonna
betting
put
on
20
G.
on G. See if Rusty will cover it too.
I'm betting on G. If I'm betting on those two, I'm betting on G.
Thank y'all.
Never not. It's funny because even Timmy calls her, he goes, "You're the best drum cook in the world."
Yeah.
She's like, you sit there and you work that thing and it never varies.
You can't distract her. Not that I've tried to distract her.
Oh,
I haven't tried to distract her. But I've seen you
I
sit right there.
double dog dare you. Sandlot double dog dare you.
No.
Oh, not the double dog dare.
I might have
the double dog dare.
I might have a pair, but they're nowhere near that large. But, not that I've tried to distract her, but I've seen you sit there and I'm like, man, you couldn't get her to squirrel for nothing in this world.
Nope.
She's just sitting right there.
Yep.
On it.
And that needle, I'm telling you, needle's up 300, 298, she's adjusting something.
Oh, it's got to be
302,
perfect.
she's adjusting again.
She doesn't miss.
I just want her to come build my boxes. Not the greenery part. Like, I'm talking about the turnings.
Oh God.
Jesus
There's nobody
Christ.
better in the world.
Pinehurst,
Yeah.
we exchanged food.
Yeah.
I was going in there like I'm getting my shit done in turn because I was solo. I was by myself, so I got to get out a little ahead of it.
Yeah.
And I'm taking my ribs over there, taking my pork over there, and she's up on that stool, and I'm looking at the boxes, and I'm like, Jesus, no wonder. How do we don't stand a chance? Definitely not in appearance. Have you ever gotten an 8?
Unfortunately,
She gets
yes.
more 8s than I do when I do it by myself.
You
Bullshit.
shut your mouth.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I call bullshit right now, and that's not on barbecue data.
No, he loves to give me crap for
Listen, every time that I'm by myself, I always take a picture of it because I always get straight 9s in appearance. Because, and this is a product of your environment, if I fuck that up, I'm in trouble. So I have to perform. If I don't make it right,
Well, I'll tell you, I have not seen the boxes you've built, but I've seen the boxes she's built.
they're way better than what I do.
Holy
I will 100% give credit to like doing that with her, like to not have to worry about that part and clear my brain.
Yeah.
That's what it means when having a good
You can
teammate.
jump to the next category, like as
Yeah.
far as finishing.
Oh, God.
or I'm doing dishes.
Yeah.
At some point, you do have to look at her and be like, "Stop fiddle fucking around." There's a bourbon inside the trailer. Elijah Craig, are you on the vodka train, Scully?
Oh, yeah.
That's my guy.
It's
Breaks.
time.
Well, you got a big watch on too.
It's just a citizen.
Wow. Are you one of them watch guys?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a bastard. You and Joe Pierce. Yeah, Joe Pierce, a big watch guy.
Is he really?
Oh, Rollies.
He and I have never talked about that.
Oh, you need to. He loves getting Rolexes now.
Really?
That's his thing. So I downloaded a Rolex face for my Apple Watch. And I said, "Hey man, look, I got my Rollie on too." He's like, "You're weird." I'm like,
That's funny.
"Yeah, watch is not important to me. You need to know the time. You don't have to wear a watch."
I do when I cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple Watch.
No, it's not an Apple. It's a big Sunto watch that I used to wear when I was in the Army. And,
yeah. That's right. I always forget that you.
Where's the name Mudville come from?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good question.
So you're ruining him. I want to have him on the podcast.
That was one hell of a. Okay, I won't.
No. Let's have it.
All right.
So
teaser.
So I grew up in Northern California in a town called Stockton.
I've been to Stockton.
Yeah, many people have, and usually you drive right through real fast.
I've been to Stockton.
It's about 45 minutes south of Sacramento, but one of the first names of Stockton was Mudville.
Okay.
So that's where the name comes from.
That's a pretty cool story.
That's awesome, man. I didn't know you were from Stockton.
Yeah.
So when I was a frozen food lobbyist,
Okay.
I was always in Northern California doing
Big
stuff.
ag area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. My father-in-law is a farmer.
Yeah. I went to, Bakersfield?
Yeah.
Bakersfield. Went to a carrot farm.
Carrot farm? I've never been to a carrot farm.
Oh my gosh. You know how them baby carrots come in that package?
Yeah.
Do you know how that's made?
No.
I think you
So
told me once.
you plant the carrots very close together so that they grow long and skinny. The further apart you grow the carrot, the fatter the carrot will be. So then they cut them into these pieces, and then they basically put them in this sand blaster,
And they round them off.
and they round them
So it
off.
doesn't look like a cut carrot.
There's zero waste at a carrot facility.
Really?
Everything from the stems, the roots, to even the ugly, fucked up carrots, those get turned into juice, and then all the carrot waste is sold to farmers to feed cattle.
That is really cool.
How about that? We talked about vegetables on the barbecue podcast.
Today I learned.
Today I learned.
Today I learned.
It's like deep philosophy there.
Yeah.
Hey, it's fun. It's like I got in an argument at Teddy Camp about frozen vegetables versus
I
fresh.
saw somebody walk up the stairs over there, but it was an actual person.
Be all night
He's
long.
so messed up, dude.
You see that new part down there on the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
I
See that
think
old
we're in
part
the new
right here?
We're in the new
see
part.
this part right here?
Yeah.
Oh, you're in the new
You're
part?
safe.
We're in the new part.
You're
And
safe.
you're safe until you walk through the front.
I swear to God, I glanced over there and I was like, holy shit. But it was
I've seen a
actually-
woman in that top room before,
Yeah, no.
and that was the room we were staying in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Really?
So on the first anniversary we celebrated here, yes. We were in that room right above the... This is our third anniversary in West.
Is it really?
Yep.
Wow.
This is a special place for you.
It really is. We've had dinner up there on the perch at the inn. We've...
That's cool.
Yeah, back when the restaurant was open, they let us sit up there, and they brought full-on 5-star service,
Really?
bottle of wine, candles, and everybody just watched us have dinner. And it was like,
That's cool.
I don't like the attention,
Yes, you do. You're a little pampered bitch.
What?
Let me just break the news right here. Luke's a little pampered bitch.
Why you can't use your wife's term for me? It's not yours.
Deny?
No.
Kim's over there with the head nod like, oh, I've had 22 years of it.
Yeah.
Listen.
Like, yeah.
People call me high maintenance all the time, like they're insulting me. I'm like, thank you. I know.
Yeah.
I am. I know that Brian's high maintenance to a degree. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was very upset. We did some YouTube filming today, and Brian had a tiny little mark on his shirt, and he was like, I really need to change this shirt. And I couldn't wait until we were filming to be like this cooker's really clean, unlike your shirt.
I've seen Luke Darnell in 2 collared shirts in my life. One, he was working when he was a lobbyist with the frozen food industry in Aden, North Carolina. He went and visited some grocery stores down there.
Yeah.
So he comes back on Friday afternoon with a collared shirt and long pants on, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? And
I've
then
seen you-
Today, we're doing the YouTube film, and he puts on a collared shirt when I've got it might as well have been a quarter jar of barbecue sauce. All over my shirt. All over my shirt. And evidently I had 2 more specks on it because we were sitting at dinner. Brian Turner looks at me and he goes, had a rough day? And I was like, it hadn't been too bad. Why? And he was like, look at your shirt. And I was like,
Oh no.
2 more speck? Dude.
I used
Holt Brothers Barbecue's here.
to
And
laugh.
Hollis. Hollis is the most important member of Holt Brothers.
Absolutely.
He is. He's not even a brother either.
He's not even a brother.
Nope.
Nope. So Justin's here. We're doing the podcast.
Cool.
Y'all
We
going
already-
to Steak Awards?
Yep, heading up to Steak Awards.
Hollis,
So
how was your pork chop?
we'll see
Good.
if Jason beat me on his first SCA steak.
Was this Jason's first SEO?
Here he
First
comes.
SCA.
Okay.
Well, I told the story about how I pooped in your trailer in West Virginia.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
He said nice.
Just FYI. Then we got Jason Hardy
I
here
wonder
from
what that
Elite
smell
Barbecue
was.
Smokers. I'm clean.
Still there.
I'm clean.
I'll was like, where is that smell coming from?
Say hi. Is Jason Hardy from Elite Barbecue Smokers here?
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Good. Ow, why you gotta pinch me? That's how you get pooped in your trailer.
I don't care.
I've pooped in your trailer many times. I've actually done worse things in your trailer, but that's fine.
That's for another podcast.
I'm not
Hi,
sure
Michelle.
really my hand's been kissed by
Michelle's
this.
here.
Yeah, well, right now we're recording it.
We're going to award. See y'all.
All right.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
I-
Good luck.
Hey, this is a good time for first-time steak winners.
Yeah, it's a
It's
great
a good place.
It is.
Trust
Good,
me,
good,
great
good.
place.
First
Go
time
get it,
taker.
Jason. Good luck, buddy.
Thank y'all.
Man, I hope you guys are enjoying this podcast because it's like we're not even recording. We're just having fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm glad we're not going to steak wars.
No, me either. Me either. Although, if we had $100 in the pot,
If we
half
had,
and half-
I think it'd be $10. You'd fight me, and he'd
Oh.
fight me for $10. But
I'm
it's
gonna
not
tell
the
you,
$10.
I can't
it's
speak
not-
for Thomas 'cause I just met him
it's-
today.
it's
You
the-
guys have never
I
met?
beat you.
never met him
No,
until
no,
today.
no.
It's the
Really?
I beat
Never
you.
met until he sat on that cooler. Never met him. I knew he
No
won
shit.
the Royal. I knew who Mudville was, but never actually met him. But I know Jerry and I, we are ultra competitive, and I know you're competitive as hell too. But
Yeah. I love kicking your ass. I
but
love
we
kicking
have
his
cooked,
ass.
Jerry and I have cooked beside each other enough. We're looking over there, and I'm like, shit, he's serious. And then
Oh.
that gets me more serious. And he's looked over there before, and he's like, "You're having a good one, aren't you?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Oh yeah."
Fucking liar.
You know, no, you're the worst sandbagger.
dude?
Brian actually does.
You don't wanna go down this-
No,
You don't
No,
want to go
you're-
down this road, Jerry
No.
Stephenson.
no, you are the worst sandbagger there is. Brian, I can look at.
Say what?
and pull with Brian in a heartbeat.
I'm a sandbagger?
You are the worst about.
I never
I'm
lie
sitting
about
there
my food.
and you're like, and I'm sitting there and it looks like you're sitting there like the Easter
Man.
Bunny, how I'm crying,
That's so
shaking, and I'm
funny.
like, you had a good cook,
That
Brian. At least when I look at Brian, I'm like, you have a good cook. Brian will give me the head nod. It ain't a word. It ain't like hell yeah, it's the best stuff.
Oh,
Brian
I
will just
know.
be like, I did.
He's an open book when he has a good cook because you can't talk to him.
And the other thing you'll do is you'll offer me meat.
I offer you meat all the
No,
time.
you don't.
Let's talk
Very
about
seldom.
sandbagging, Jerry. You're the one that brought it up. Let's talk about your
right.
histrionics at Pinehurst.
Pinehurst. Let's bring up Pinehurst. We bring up Pinehurst. We bring up.
Oh, I
Pinehurst.
might even walk away. I can't.
We bring up Pinehurst.
Jerry's
Pinehurst,
back
North
here.
Carolina.
The only
Worst
reason-
cook ever.
Pinehurst, North Carolina, and I would go on record as saying it's the most embarrassing cook I've ever had in my life. It really was.
My man is sandbagging a cook from 4 months ago. 4 months ago, he's still sandbagging. And you did what?
It's getting heavy in here.
Reserve grand.
Reserve grand.
But
Sandbagging for 4 months.
where did my meat end up after brisket turned out?
Oh,
In a trash can.
we understand all of it.
We saw the dramatics.
No, we
You
saw
know
the
what I mean?
dramatic
Oh,
things.
there was no dramatic.
Throwing shit and doing all
Your
this
meat
shit.
ended up in the top 2. That's where it ended up.
Right.
That was
Bro,
embarrassing.
and we were like,
And convinced me. And I've cooked around him enough, and I'm like, I can tell.
he
even
didn't convince me.
I'm walking to awards and like almost felt bad for the guy. He looks at me. He looks at me and he says, "I
Almost.
swear to God, if I win this contest, if I won," I said, "Congrats." He was sandbagging. I said, "Congratulations. That's what you do to sandbaggers. Congratulations, Jerry." And he said, "I'm telling you, Scully,
This is
if
the best
I-
podcast ever.
he said, "If I even get out of my chair, I'll be surprised. But if I won this contest, I will retire and sell all my shit."
That was the truth.
And outside
Yeah.
of one team, he's still cooking with us
So,
today.
so they're
I
so
almost,
they're going down.
almost retired myself that day.
They're going down the top 5, and he's already. We know he's up there, right? But also, we had a good day too, and he's still sandbagging me when they're getting down. Like they get to the 4th, he goes, "I think you're going to be really happy today," and I'm like, "Motherfucker, I know that you're one of the top 2, and the other guy won. Mm-hmm. It ain't me." They call us for 3rd, and I looked at him like, "You son of a bitch."
That's just terrible.
Look!
Hold on. Luke is not the one that brought up sandbagging.
I am not.
But Luke
That
is an
was-
incredible sandbagger.
I am not.
I own.
How do I sandbag?
I own Pinehurst. It's a bag of shame. It's that 2:30 wrong choice walking out of the bar. It's that 2:30 in the morning walking out of the bar wrong choice you make at 6 a.m. in the morning. You realize it. What I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. I could have walked out of that contest. I could walk out of that contest carrying my shoes, my head down, and I did. I felt plumb embarrassed.
You won.
It's like I wanted to give everybody back
bag
the
of
money.
shame. That is a new term.
That's
You
a new
just
term.
coined another name.
Bag of shame.
Bag of shame.
Bag of shame.
That's
But-
I hope I have a 700 bag of shame tomorrow.
I hope I have 702.
You actually remembered it.
Huh?
That was embarrassing.
What do you mean? Remember it?
I'm a quote Letterkenny right here. Fucking embarrassing. Fucking
You have no
embarrassing.
idea. All this is happening. He's 40 feet from me, but we're talking.
No, he was the first one I looked at. He shot me the finger, like, and it wasn't your number one finger, the middle finger. He pointed at me. I was like, "You got me."
Oh, I think he
got
even
it.
sandbagged, called you out at
you were
awards
Didn't you
as
say
you were
like,
walking.
in that bag heavy or something like that?
I was like, "Are you going to take that bag with you up there?" I looked over. He's like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." I couldn't hear this.
And then you left.
Oh, so
We
good.
spent the night that night, and I looked at Brian. I was like, I got to stay at Jerry's house the next 2 nights. I was like, I'm just going to put bags of sand all over the house, just hide them.
Big old sandbox.
Fucking horrible. Well, let's get back to poker faces. Poker faces. I read both of y'all, and I can see you. It's like when you're bagging, it's easy.
I really
At least
would like to
Brian,
understand.
I will give Brian the nod. Brian will look at me. I'm like, oh fuck, I better have my stuff ratcheted.
I really want to understand how I sandbag.
You get giddy.
You get giddy.
I love my cooks. I love my cooks, but I don't.
You had a good one in Pinehurst. I mean, we're talking
sandbagging
about
to
Pinehurst.
me.
You
Giddy.
had a good one in
Let me
Sandbagging to me is-
let me preface
okay.
something before you get into back
The
to the
best sandbagger
sandbagging.
of all time, before we go down that rabbit hole, was Andrew Clower, by the way, of Bald Hog Bar.
Oh, yeah.
Best of all time.
Yeah,
Nightmare.
I agree with that. But let me get back to the giddy thing. The giddy thing doesn't bother me as much as when you have a good cook. It doesn't bother me. I'm happy for you. But I'm like, motherfucker, tell me you're the nuts today. Tell me you dropped the big thing right on the table.
I generally do, don't I?
I think you.
No.
I think you're pretty open with that, but
You have never said you had a
No.
good one prior to awards.
Brian
That's not
Brian
true.
Corbett will look at me
Not
and nod,
to me.
and when Brian nods, it's like you better have your shit
I
ratcheted
even
up.
told you, Brian Corbett, at a contest you weren't at very recently that I was being Brian Corbett.
If I'm not at it, it's not the same.
I texted you and said I'm full on
If I'm
Corbett.
not there, it's not the same.
I said I'm full on Corbett in DC. I said I'm in the trailer.
You said
and I'm
you
fucking
said-
cleaning things,
You
and I
said
ain't going
I'm-
outside.
You said I'm in Scully. I said, how was it? You said
I'm in
full
Scully mode. Full
In
Scully
DC,
mode.
in DC, I was surprised you didn't win. That was the honest to
Well-
God, because
yeah.
I ate your brisket, and I was as disappointed as y'all were about what happened.
When I
in
won
DC.
pork, I said I won
But
this contest.
DC, I looked at Josephine when she walked out. I said, when he gives me his meat,
Did you
he
cook
does that.
steak?
That's the tell.
Well, come here
They had
then.
a
here.
great
awards.
cook.
Oh, did you?
They're getting ready to do it.
Real quick, we got Andrew and Vivi here from Swig and Pig.
Hey.
These guys just won their first GC, and not only did they win their first GC,
Two
they did it with
180s.
like a 714.
714.
Like that shit don't happen.
.2628.
That's
That's
me.
right.
Man, I'm telling you, I was so fired up. Oh my God, I was so fired up. I went up after awards, after it all kind of dust settled. I went over there and I told him, I was like, you need to go ask the judges rep where you guys fucked this up. And they were like, Andrew looked at me and he was like, huh? And I was like, you left 6 points on the table across the board.
Wow.
I mean, the perfect contest is a
Right.
720. I mean,
We're recording a podcast, just FYI.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys, that was so awesome for a lot of people. We had a big conversation earlier about when good people win, and how
Your name came up.
and your name came up, and
Sweet.
how like you're more excited than if you won.
Yeah.
Like to see good people win. So
Yep.
so glad that happened, and you guys are awesome, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
You know
they're
what?
gonna go to
Some
steak. Are
awards.
you going to steak awards?
We're going to Steak Awards. They
All right.
moved it up from 9 o'clock to 8:45.
Oh, you better get.
Well,
Y'all
don't
cook
Sorry.
Stop that
No,
time.
we're just going.
don't make Debbie Harwell mad. Don will take her seat.
We're going to move a chair too.
Oh
So-
God, that's a whole another podcast. That's so good. Bye guys.
Bye, guys.
I double dog dare you.
See, there we go. That's what we were talking about. Two of the best people out there. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And see, it's 714. That's like, come on.
Tennessee likes to give out those high 700s. They have a record
I
of
need
that.
to cook there more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a high one. Jeez.
I know,
Yeah.
like Mark Gibbs has done that before, and
I think I was in Arkansas a few weeks ago, and they gave out like 8 180s and 4 700s.
Jeez.
It was ridiculous. Yeah.
Man, this is kind of unfair because I need to have you on the podcast, and it's my fault that I haven't. Yeah, gotta have him.
Saving all my
Absolutely.
good answers for you.
Good.
Got to.
I mean,
shame, for
easy,
shame.
Easy, G. Turn it off. Don't get mad.
I'm not mad.
Man, I'm so glad you brought up chicken. That was the best thing in my life. Chicken, not chicken. Sandbagging. God, Pinehurst snowball job that we got. He sat down and wanted to have an emotional conversation with me outside about how bad his cook was. I'm like, fuck, I just got mudholed by Jerry. I knew it. I knew it when it happened. And we're sitting there, he's sitting right behind me in the wards, and I'm looking at Kim going,
Have you ever done that before?
Not to my knowledge. Not to me. Not to me.
Have you ever done that before?
no. Not to that level.
No. Have I ever done that before?
No.
Okay.
That's fair. But
My fair assessment was it was just like last weekend when I ranked my meats. Brisket was last. Literally, when I picked it up, it was falling apart in my hands. I cut 7-inch, half-inch slices and turned it in a box.
Thank you.
I had to wait 15 minutes with it open to cool down to be able to turn it in.
Hopefully it'll
And
tighten, yeah.
then what do you get a call? You get a
got
call on
kids,
brisket,
man.
and you're
Make
just
them
like,
carry
what the
that
fuck?
cooler.
I know better than that brisket should not have schooled, but you know.
We lost Hypes, by the way. He's going to Steak Awards
He's going to stay.
with his beautiful family.
Man,
Such a
cooler
good.
You
full
should
of
have asked
beer.
him about his.
No, he doesn't drink. He quit drinking 6 months ago.
Who?
Steven.
Well, he had a cooler.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Really?
Very health related. No, you're usually pretty honest about your food, and it's usually like I just big dicked you.
Oh, it was a
Like,
good
yeah.
time. That was a good time
Fair.
at my expense. I mean, I felt embarrassed. It's like I wanted to give him money back. Here's my fee.
No.
Fuck everybody and burn the town down. As I was
Now
going
let me
out.
ask you guys this question,
Yeah.
because this is.
But I tell you what, the one great thing about that whole embarrassing incident was he gave me a shitload of information that I passed on to you and not you. That was I passed on information to Scully and not Lukey.
That's right.
Wow.
I don't know. You didn't ask.
That's
At least
me.
me and Brian talked.
Wow.
We did.
Wow. I was in your
I was
wedding.
just saying, we were talking.
I was in your wedding.
You didn't talk to me. Brian talked to me. I told Brian straight up. Brian's like, no
your
shit.
wedding.
I was like, yeah.
In your
Yeah,
wedding.
here. This is what it was. I can't believe it worked. Because I didn't try to do it, but it did it.
But it did it.
Let me ask you this question, because we've talked about, we've mentioned a couple times, like me and Brian shared food.
Yeah.
We switched food in Pinehurst, and we'd never done that before. But we had a mutual friends in Pinehurst that we met, and that was just. I still don't know that old guy that invented hip replacement surgery and sat in my trailer and ate 30 ribs, just standing in the background while we're doing pork, just killing ribs.
It's like a separate story. He says he invented hips.
Dude,
He invented the hip replacement
literally
surgery
invented hip replacement surgery. And he's sitting out there drinking,
and just killing ribs.
just killing ribs. Luke comes over to my trailer and he was like, you see that guy over there? And I was like, yeah. He was like, he invented hip replacement. He must have ate 3 racks of ribs. And I was like,
We didn't have a rib left. He ate them all.
Luke turned in 6. That guy got the rest of it.
Yeah,
Yes, seriously.
killed him. But do you regularly trade food with people? Do you only trade food with people that you're really good friends with, or how do you guys handle that situation? Do people ask you for that?
I will offer it to a team that's next to me if they're not a new team. Only because I feel like then I'm inviting them to give me their food, and oftentimes the feedback that I might give might not be the best, and I don't want to.
So not a new team,
I don't wanna
but an
discourage
established team.
Yeah,
Okay. That's interesting.
So the way I handle it is if there's a new team beside me, behind me, in front of me, however the contest is laid out. If there's a new team there and they're asking a bunch of call it fruitful questions.
Yeah.
Like they're really wanting to learn. If they say, "Can we try your food tomorrow?" and I know they really want to learn, I will tell them yes. But don't give me yours unless you want my honest feedback. Because one thing I'm not going to do, and this is why I don't trade food a whole lot, is I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. You know what I mean? And because it doesn't help you.
Yeah.
It doesn't help me.
Right.
If I give a couple of ribs to Luke and Kim, and they're not what they need to be, chances are, the 5 of us here that are sitting here cooking, we all know when it's not what it needs to be, right? If I give them ribs and I know what it's not need to be, and they tell me it's an excellent rib, I know they're blowing smoke in my ass, and I'm not going to give them pork and brisket because they're not going to give me an honest. So I want honest feedback. If I give Jerry or Luke or you or anybody else my food tomorrow, it's because I choose to, and I really want your feedback. Because odds are, if I'm giving you a category, it's probably the category I might struggling in a little bit, and I really want you to tell me what the deal is. Mm-hmm. So if it's a new team, I don't mind sharing my food, but I'm straight up with them. If you give me yours, be prepared.
Yeah.
It's
because
100%.
I'm only
right.
trying to help you get better. You're asking all the right questions. I can see the passion. I can see that you really want to do well. I can see that you really want to learn. Whether you do this again or not, you still want to cook better barbecue.
Right.
So I'm going to give you what I really think. Just take it with a grain of salt, and that may be the feedback, right? Pun intended. But take it with a grain of salt, but use it.
Right.
You know, because I'm not the best in the world by any stretch. I'm not the best here. But I've been around the block a time or two.
And sometimes I'll offer it to a team that's experienced or somebody that I know that I trust because I've been cooking a recipe for so long that it tastes the same to me every time, and I can't tell if it's good or bad anymore. And so you need that feedback.
Well, see, and that's kind of what I was alluding to. Like if I take, like in Pinehurst, I mean, I wouldn't call it a funk. To some people say it was a funk, but it'd been a little while since I'd won. I've had some RGCs, and so Luke and I had never been that close before. You know, Jerry and I have. We've never exchanged food, have we?
Nope.
Yeah. So, and I mean, that's not because of one or the other.
No.
I think it's just never really come up. We might do it tomorrow. Who knows?
Because he's a secretive bitch.
Well, he is a very secretive bitch. And tomorrow he's getting all 4 of my entries. And
He's getting all 4 of mine, too.
And I'm going to stand there and look, be like, are we reciprocal? Oh, is that,
Yeah.
So is that a
Puppy
chicken?
dog, guys, come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
we're doing
Come on.
But
But it's a good thing that you brought up. There's 2 great things I think you brought up. Number 1, I will always agree if it's a new team. But I also give them the caveat that I'm going to kill you.
right.
Like,
Unless it's amazing.
unless
then
it's
I'm gonna
amazing, but know that I'm going to kill you.
That chance exists. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and you need to be comfortable with the fact that I may hurt your feelings because I'm not going to lie to you about it. But also, he and I have that same agreement. I've given Jerry more food, definitely more food than Jerry's ever given me. But I also value his opinion.
Damn, you just killed Jerry on this. Jesus.
No, but seriously.
It's like I'm the least generous person in the fucking world.
No, that's not what I mean.
It's the roast of Jerry.
Not what I mean. But you know what I mean. Like, when I give Jerry a piece of brisket, which I do at every contest we're usually together. And that's usually with anywhere I go in the country. Like, Darren and I don't trade food, but we trade brisket. And we all converge on his trailer at the end, and we all take a piece of brisket. And everybody eats it because for some reason that's just the thing.
It's just, yeah.
But I always give Jerry a piece of brisket. Jerry told me in D.C. is the best piece of brisket I ever gave.
And it was no bullshit.
And it was really good.
It's the best you had ever given me.
Yeah.
And I was sorry that the fucking judges were wrong that day.
Yeah.
That happens.
But Jerry's also given me some of the best food I've ever had at a barbecue contest. So have you. And we've only traded food one time.
Just the one time in Pinehurst. Yeah.
And you and I have never traded food.
I've had your food.
Yeah. And Scully, my favorite. This was great because Scully and I, like, we're doing this on the fly to make our new Pinehurst friends happy. We're just like, okay, this is a communal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I gave Scully a piece of pork, and Brian just looked at me and walked out of the trailer and didn't say a word.
Yep.
Done.
And then we talked afterwards. He goes,
Then he comes over after
you
brisket
beat
and he
me.
was like, what you
I had a
think?
panic attack.
He comes over after brisket. He says, what'd you think about my food? I think you said, what'd you think about my pork? Because you
My
knew
pork.
it was good. And I looked at you and I said,
First or second?
It's first or second. There was no other option. It was that damn good.
Yeah, Luke,
It was no other option.
Yeah.
Luke asked for a piece of brisket one time. And this was no, I remember.
It's a long time
I'm about
ago.
I'm about to give you a freaking. Oh my God! Here we go again. Luke asked for a piece of brisket.
I did.
Try a piece of your brisket.
I
He came
did.
to the trailer, and I was cleaning up. I said, "Sure." I handed a piece of brisket. He ate it, and he just said, "Fuck." He goes, "I'm in second place or worse." And that was like a great compliment. It was like he liked it. That's all he said. Walked out of the trailer, and I was like, "That's great."
Yeah.
That's what you need. Confidence building wise.
You need that sometimes, and sometimes you need because Thomas, you made a great point. We do the same thing a lot. Even if you tweak, like Jerry's a tweaker, because it keeps him focused. That's part of his. I'm not. That's
Not like that way, Jerry.
No, not in a meth way, but like in a in a very uncracked way. Jerry's a tweaker, but that's what keeps him focused because he's changed something. So now he needs to really lock in what he's doing. I don't really change anything anywhere I go. I have to see a pattern before I really dive into something. But you made a great point. You do the same thing over and over, and it becomes monotonous. You actually use that word with your cook, Jerry, earlier. Is my cook becomes monotonous and I lose it. And so
that was the problem with the backwoods cook. And you knew it with the gravity feed cook.
That's exactly right.
Backwoods got boring.
Yep.
And it's like, wow, you won. It was like, it was so boring. It was just like, fuck. I remember you were one of them would get pissed. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd come out in my underwear, a cup of coffee, and I'm waking up, and you're out there like, well, did you just wake up? And you're like, yeah. I had it down pat. And I'm like, 8:30, I'm throwing my ribs on. I'm going back to bed. And then I'm going to have another cup of coffee at 9 o'clock. And I'm going to get up and get my chicken. And it's like, you ain't worried about that. We're all good. And I'd sleep like 12 hours,
But there's some of those details that get lost there. Because
it was all in the end. Barbecue's all in the end. Those last
10 minutes.
It's just, that's where you make your money.
I'd say the last half hour.
But getting back to giving food, a lot of times why you don't get food is you don't ask. That's the other thing. And nothing personal. We've never said, hey, let's trade.
It's never come up until tonight.
I think part of the things with cooks is you never ask, because I'll share with people I like, and I'll hurt people's feelings, a lot of them that I don't like. And if you're a judge, you're going to get your feelings hurt, because no judge is going to eat my food. But every now and then you'll get a judge. It's like a first-time judge. I've done it like 3 times in my lifetime, where they ate a backyard table, and it's the first time they've come to a contest, and can they try your food? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, this is the last time you'll ever get to eat it. I won't let judges eat my food. New teams, I will let a new team eat my food. No problem. I won't explain what I did or how I did or anything like that, but I'm like, this is what I try to do, and they'll eat it and they'll be like, holy shit.
But that gives them
wow.
a heads up on what they should aspire for.
Yeah, they'll be like, holy shit, or whatever, and it's like, yeah, this is what I do. I don't really care. I don't want their feedback. But what you talk about, Thomas, is like when a new team, I feel really bad. They'll be like, hey, will you try my food? I'm like, yeah. When I get done with brisket, bring me your chicken, bring me your rib, bring me your pork, bring me your brisket. And they'll be like, I'm like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I really, really don't. What you said is, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm not going to be your mom or your dad and pat you on the back and say, it'll be all right. So I'm going to be like, look, this is this. And that's the feedback that you need to try to figure out how you get better, or the way at least my brain assimilates information and try to get better. So, but that's the thing about with trading. I think sometimes I will not trade meat during contests. I hate doing. Luke knows that. I do it every now and then, but
our palates are so beat up by that point anyway. Yeah. You don't want to introduce something.
But what least thing I want to do is, it's like if I have a banging chicken day and you're having a bad day, is hand you a piece of chicken and you're like, God damn it, I'm in second already. You know, because if you're honest, unless you hit one of these. Yeah,
but I think you got to.
These.
I guess newer teams would do that. I'm not going to feel that way if I eat your chicken and then when Jerry got some chicken, I'm gonna try and kick your ass in ribs, pork, and brisket. But I also know what you mean about
mindset.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly the point. That's a great point, Jerry. Is the mindset. It's that's 90% of this game.
The last 30 minutes and your mindset is where this is won and lost.
Right.
It's not necessarily a recipe, a rub, an injection, a sauce. All that plays into it. But the last 30, you hear people,
No cages.
Jesus.
What are you doing over there? Oh, that sounds sexual.
But you hear people say the last 10 minutes, and the last 10 minutes are ultra important. But to me, the last 30 minutes, because what I consider the last 30 minutes is not the window of time between ribs and chicken, which is 12 to 12:30.
Right.
The last 30 minutes for me is the last 15 minutes is on the pit, and the last 15 minutes I got before I turn it in.
But I also
Because
think
that's where my tenderness is locked in. That last 15 minutes
Wow,
is when
that's
I know
smart.
when my tenderness is there. Because if I pull it off at the beginning of the 15, because I think my time tells me to, and it's not ready, I don't need to pull it off. That 15 minutes can make or break that entire cook.
that's incredible.
And then you've got 15 minutes before you box it.
Wow.
That's when I say the last 30 minutes, that's the 30 minutes I'm talking about. It's not the window between chicken and ribs of 12 to 12:30, 12:30 to 1 for pork, 1 to 1:30 for brisket. It's the 15 minutes it's on the pit, and the 15 minutes before I box it. Whatever happens between there is me just maintaining what I've already worked for that perfection.
I think you're right. When I said 10 minutes, my thing is in that 10 minutes, I have time to do all the corrections I need. Most
Because
of the
you've
time,
already got it right, tenderness-wise.
90% of the time, there's no correction. 90% of the time, there's no correction. That 10 minutes, I can take a piece of shit. Basically, what my dad used to say, I can take chicken shit and make it into chicken salad. I don't care what it is.
But you can't fix tenderness at that point.
No.
That's what I mean by that last 15 minutes.
Wow.
You can't fix tenderness in that last 10 minutes. I don't care if you're on a stick burner, a drum, a pellet. You can't
I've
fix
stuck a box
tenderness.
of ribs in a cooler before to try and tighten them up.
Well, okay, so you can do that.
You ought to hear my stories
You can
about
go to those
this
extremes, but
content.
are you doing that in the last 10 minutes? Or are you doing that when you pull it off the pit and you go, shit? You're
No,
doing
I've
it.
done it
You're
in the
probably
last 10
doing it
minutes.
then.
No,
Okay,
yeah,
well then,
yeah.
okay, then you already know you've
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
in a. I mean,
I
you're
know
in an
it's
uphill
I know
battle.
it's done, and this is like a last desperate attempt.
You're going down. You're
Something
going down a
that's
Black
decent.
Diamond
Yeah.
first time on skis.
Absolutely.
That's what you're
Yeah.
doing.
We GC'd here at Wise, Virginia, with me with my pork box. My brisket box wide open, sitting there fanning it in front of the judges, and Alex Brown, the rep, sitting there going, "Jerry, you got 30 seconds." I'm like, "Yep."
I got 30 seconds.
You got 20 seconds, Jerry.
I
15
understand.
seconds. Yep. 10 seconds. Yep. 5 seconds. Put it on the table. Close it. 1. Done.
Yep.
I'm in. Right. Yep. Good. I was like, take your time walking the box.
Maybe open it.
Crack it open a little bit.
Crack it open, walk it open.
Yeah. Y'all take your time walking that box. Make sure you get it in the right box. Make sure the right tables. That it's been sitting there for 15 minutes waiting on my box to come in.
The best thing about that, Scully, is that the next barbecue class I teach, I will accredit you with what you just said, but I will teach that.
Fair enough.
Because that is, that's gold.
Truth.
It is.
I've looked back on a mania cook, and I go, man, did I not finish it correctly? Did I not sauce it? Did I not dust it? Did I not do this?
How about that?
And
When you look
at-
back and you get
look at all
mad.
the tenderness,
Yeah.
and there's
Tuffy
like
stone.
7s and 8s on tenderness, and I'm like, there's nothing I could have done in that last 15 minutes
Tuffy
on the
stone.
board to
fix
fix
the
the last
tenderness.
15 minutes. It should
Right.
have been on the pit or should have been off the pit.
That's why having a drum in your arsenal to me is super important.
Well, I mean, Tim Shear said it. He said 30 minutes on
30
a drum
minutes
is
on a drum is an
lifetime.
eternity.
Yeah, eternity.
You
yeah.
can crush anything you need to do.
But and the same can be said, I think, for these outlaws and these jambos. Now, G can turn the valves on that damn drum tomorrow. If you guys get in a bind on ribs and pork or brisket, and you have to make an audible at the last second, she can turn those valves and ramp that thing up.
Oh.
But we've got a firebox, we've got an intake, and we've got
Yep.
an exhaust where the hot spots are. We can kind of do the same thing. You just need to know where to go and when to do it. You know.
When that drum runs, finishes chicken, that drum's at 350.
Yep.
Yeah.
The rest of the cook
And it stays
just
there.
in
Just
case.
Just in case we need it.
Because you
It's
can
a Swiss
shut it down
Army
just like
knife.
that, too.
Absolutely, it's
Yeah.
a life preserver. in
Swiss
any-
So if
Army
you're leaving
knife.
on Saturday, it's no big deal, right?
Look at Jage. What? You got something to say?
No,
You was
no,
talking
no.
about
What
Tuffy
Brian
Stone.
said was Tuffy Stone. Tuffy Stone told us, one time was that you'd rather be looking at it than waiting
looking
for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's one of the best things Tuffy ever told me.
I tell when
Barbecue.
when it's 135 and all my meats are where they need to be and none of them are on the pit, man, I feel good about my day.
135 or 11?
Or 11:45, 11:35.
I was about to say, the
I was like,
world
we're
are you
done.
in?
Can I get on that train? Because I can sleep another 2 hours.
Be great. Wouldn't it be great if turning started at 2?
It would be, but I'm okay where they are.
That's why I used to like the DC contest when we did half and half.
Oh, that
dude.
was so fun.
Remember we had so much
Saturday
oh, heck
night
yeah,
was
small meats first.
No, it wasn't
no,
that.
it was
Saturday was
Oh,
chicken.
sorry, no, brisket,
chicken
brisket and chicken.
Yeah.
Do
But
they really do it that way? I've never cooked DC. So
But
they do
here's-
6
chicken and
o'clock
brisket
was
on Saturday.
6 o'clock was chicken. 6:30 was brisket.
But here's-
Saturday.
PM?
Yeah.
PM.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. You wouldn't get into that contest sometimes. You wouldn't be parked until midnight. So you are
On
begging
Friday
people to give you a meat
Midnight,
inspection.
you're looking for meat inspection so you can
so you can
shoot.
start injecting it and then get it ready for the next day.
We've injected brisket in DC
In the street
on Friday night
with a flashlight.
with flashlight
Flashlight. Yeah.
No kidding.
to get it done
But,
and get it
but
right.
beyond that, remember, you end up, like, we went to the pub one time and watched football
Me
or
and Jerry,
soccer.
and Jerry got
I-
that was a great day.
we were half snooker before we even got to the contest, you know? And then you're cooking chicken and brisket, and then you go home. The next day you cook pork and you cook
ribs, and then you did
And
the
then you had the
on-site.
on-site if you wanted to do that.
on-site, and it was fun. DC's still fun. I
I've
like
never
I
done
like
that
that.
contest.
Oh,
I still
all right.
like it. It's,
Let's
you
make
know,
You need to do it next year.
I can
What
tell
else
you.
was that weekend? I was in Maryville,
It
Tennessee.
used to be Covington weekend years ago.
You need to come to DC next year.
No, but Covington was the weekend before.
You
this
need to
year?
come to DC next
2
year.
It was
that
it
was
was
the
the
first
beginning
contest I ever
of
cooked.
June this year.
Wow!
This year,
How about that?
It was
Maryville,
Tennessee. Yeah.
I was in Maryville,
2015
Tennessee.
Which
You
that's
are
closer for
GC'd
you,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
And I
closer.
remember standing at awards, and I felt like you got 100 calls that night.
I won. That was the first year I won the pork championship.
Yeah.
Mike Fay won that
And
contest.
that's the year before I cooked it. And then you
rest in
got
peace.
there and you tried to figure out, like, how am I doing? Remember?
Oh, we're sitting at awards because Doug Halo didn't have any fucking idea what he was doing. And Jerry goes, I don't know how I'm doing. And I went,
Nobody does.
you're doing good, buddy. He's like, there's 85 different things happening. I went, it's fine.
so-
You're up there.
So flash forward, like 3 years after that, that's the year Timmy showed up.
Oh.
Hey, Timmy. And we were trading back and forth. We were recording for Royal Oak. He was giving me crap, and I went out in front of his thing and I put a little tent sign up that said "free ribs at 12 o'clock." And he's out there in the tent like, what the hell? And then at awards it was special, Little Red Cart and Timmy. But that was the year Urkel won, and Urkel's looking at me, and I mean he had 4 calls, but the way that they call that contest was so
All the different
convoluted.
categories
They start out
that you don't
brisket
know.
and stuff.
No, that's like, so they would have the chicken
Purdue
category,
chicken, and
then
then
they would have
got
the
chicken.
Purdue chicken sizzling category. Now, Andrew Schaefer, who's one of the best organizers in barbecue, he's fixed a lot of
Yeah,
this.
Yes.
now you get it, but before
But
you
there's,
didn't.
but it's a double.
But flashback to Urkel. Urkel was looking at me, going, "How am I doing?" I said, "I think you won, man." He goes, "I don't know what's going on." You know, Urkel won. You know, I remember sitting there with him.
But it's a double. There's 6 turn-ins on Saturday.
6.
Yeah.
There's Beyond Meat.
Oh God.
There's
Steak.
not SCA.
No,
You can do whatever the fuck
KCBS
you want.
steak.
Non-sanctioned.
Not KCBS. You
Oh, that's
can
right. It's
do
not
whatever
KCBS.
you
Pardon
want.
me.
Wild Wild
Turkey.
West.
Just complete non-sanctioned.
Turkey,
Yeah.
single meat ribs, single meat chicken sauce,
Yeah.
which is very important.
Sauce balls. Sauce
Some-
balls in the house.
I may have won the America's Best Sauce contest. That's fine.
The national sauce champion.
That's right. And National Pork Champion.
Yes.
Big Dick Bandit. That's what they call
Has
me.
anybody ever done that twice?
What? The
Good
National
question,
Pork
Jay.
Champion?
I don't know.
I
I'd
don't,
have
even,
to-
I didn't even point at Luke. I point at G.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
I think you need to look it up.
I
I don't
think
think
I
anybody's
do.
ever done it twice.
Okay.
I don't think they have.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me do a little
We
research.
won it
I-
in 2015.
Yep.
We won National Pork Champion. That's when they did on-site.
Yeah.
So you
You
had
had
to
to get
do
through- you had-
Memphis presentation in DC for pork and ribs.
Which was funny because they sent 2 judges to you. Sorry to interrupt, but they sent you 2 judges, and I figured it out the second year. One judge would eat a whole rack. I mean, just best
Devour.
he'd ever eaten. And then the other guy was like the actual judge or lady. I figured that out.
I had Meathead Goodwin was one
Me
of my
too.
on-site judges.
Me
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
And he walks up. I'm looking out the window. So the girls are out front. They greet. I'm looking out the window and I see Meathead. And I'm like, okay. All the lies just went away. Because I had this giant story about how these hogs,
Oh, yeah,
all these hogs were raised
it
by
was-
my uncle.
It was straight up
Fucking
live.
great.
It was the best
Best
story
thing.
in the world.
Winnie the Pooh's sidekick.
One of my
Hey,
favorite.
he was in the hey. Put it in these words. He was in the shadow of our Capitol Hill. So he was
he was
eloquent.
full of shit.
Oh, he was
yeah.
generating that energy.
What was that
on
damn
that floor? You
What was
know?
that damn contest in North Carolina? Where you guys did all the sides and the on-site on Friday night?
Oh my Lord, was Shelby in the day?
So Shelby. So we go down there,
in the day.
Yes.
and Roxanne was cooking all those sides.
Yes.
And Jerry didn't want to do the on-site, so I went and did it. And I was their cousin that lived in the city. And the stories I came up with were amazing. Jerry would look at me from the trailer going,
We won.
No.
We
we
won.
won 4 of them.
We won gumbo that night. And
Oh.
I cooked my sausage and chicken gumbo, which was good. But we beat 2 Cajuns that night, and they still to this day they still come in my store in the barbecue shop. And like, you remember when you beat my ass in gumbo and Shelby? And I'm like, nope.
I do.
Yeah, Luke does.
I do because our other cousin that grew up down in Louisiana, he was estranged.
Brought the
He
sausage
brought
up,
it. He brought it.
handmade
Home,
recipe.
he brought it home to out to
This is
Clayton
some
and
Gulf-
told us how to do it, and we got to figure it out.
Gulf pink shrimp caught on the full moon.
Oh, yeah.
Hand caught, and
Roxanne sit there and listen to me. She'd have to go back inside.
we all had to leave.
They couldn't be there
No,
because the shit that was coming out of my mouth was amazing.
gold, pure gold.
For
Reverend Al
years-
Sharpton would be like, damn.
I for years wondered how Luke landed Little G. And I have just now learned how Luke landed G.
Well, I was going to say,
Let's say.
Wow, I don't know how to go with any of that.
I don't know if you want to hear some stories. I could tell you some stories.
I would gander on this. She's farsighted.
Yeah.
She
Wow,
likes she
that's
likes
a fat joke, Thomas.
she likes helping stray dogs out. You know.
I get the same guy. So
I know I ain't going with the fat jokes. We ain't going there.
I get the
They
same
said
thing with Ashley. And
farsighted.
they go, man, Ashley's good looking, and then there's you. And I'm like, yeah, she ain't bad for a blind girl, is she?
Well, one of my favorite. This is not apropos of anything, but I was on my golf trip this year, and Brian sends me a picture of him from the Kentucky Derby, him and Ashley, and I'm with all my golf trip guys. I'm like, "Oh, you guys remember Brian?" They're like, "Fuck Brian."
Who's that?
Who's that? And I told Brian, I texted him, I went, the guys have questions. I went, just bury your phone right now in your bow tie. It'll be fine. Like, these guys are awful.
He's like, there is a lot of questions I'm having to try to answer right now.
Mark Whittemore, who wants steak? I don't care.
Mark.
I love the concept of the steak contest. I hate that you have to cook it wrong to win.
You don't like cooking it medium.
I would want it to be medium rare, like be an awesome steak. You know what I mean?
I'm okay with the medium part. It's the
Debbie Harwell part. I don't even care.
It's the hairnet and the pantyhose part. And I mean, what I mean by that is you got to round it off, put the pins in it. You got to dress it all up and everything. Like
Perfect
Lipstick
time
on a
to
pig,
shave
yeah.
half
it's a
mark.
damn steak, right? And okay, before we go there, we don't judge on the diamond. I'm doing air quotes. Bullshit.
You do.
If I throw one on the Weber Rancher, Weber Kelly, without the grill graze,
Scorch it.
and
It's a better steak.
taste it, it tastes better than anything else. It's not going to win.
That steak I cooked in D.C., it was rare. I cooked it in a cast iron fucking skillet. I mean, it was the cast iron skillet was white.
You got a call, right?
Yeah, but people were coming by me, like, watch me cook that steak. I put it in there with avocado oil, put it in there. It was probably 700 degrees. Seared it, buttered it, and sat there and just basted it, everything, let it rest.
Did you win it?
No, we came in second. But
I really wanted you to win it so you could succeed me as national state champion.
No,
That was national state champion the year before.
I couldn't do that. I think Travis got me. But the thing was
Oh, was it Travis?
Yeah, but it was
Jason
the,
Hardy's coming back with an award.
it,
Hold on. Wait a minute. Put some Hardy. Whoa, what do we got?
Oh, we got hardware.
We got hardware, folks.
Oh, good job.
Hollis, come in here, bud.
Hollis Holt.
Hollis, you're on the
First place
Pitmaster
steak
podcast.
Kids cook-off.
Tell me what you did. What'd you cook?
I cooked a pork chop. I cooked on a
M-grill.
Yeah, M-grill and
M-grill, okay.
Yeah, pretend that's not there. You're talking to Uncle
Yeah.
Lukey.
and
You got $125
yeah.
and a medal.
So what did you
And
put
a
on your
trophy?
pork chop? Anything special?
Just I think usually just the normal I do for the
Like
pork
rub and
chops.
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome,
cool.
dude.
That
Don't
is
let
so
your dad keep that money.
You know,
There wasn't no name on the check, so I mean, that can make it
yes, there is.
That's right, buddy. You tell him.
Let me just
Yep.
show you.
Yes, sir.
Jason
Look
Hardy,
at
what do
this
you
big
got?
check.
We got a Happy Gilmore check that says Hollis Holt.
Yeah, absolutely.
$25.
even better. I got a 7th, and then
Did you?
my Mr.
No, you didn't win.
What place is
No, I
that?
didn't win.
Karate Kid over here got
What
fifth
place?
place.
Nice!
Fifth place.
Hey.
That's fantastic.
First
How
place,
about that,
15.
Jason?
Hey, man, I
Good
want to just
steak.
thank my sponsor for this.
Jason
Justin
Hardy.
Holt. He was the sponsor for my steak. We have come in there today and win a 5th place trophy.
At least you got a call this weekend.
And this is also my
Oh, somebody hit pause.
Nope. You understand we've been taping for 2 hours.
Do I understand or
This is the best podcast of all time. We got Thomas Gearhart,
Longest podcast.
Royal Champion. We got Scully. Jerry finally left. My God. But I will say we beat the shit out of Jerry. Hard.
You're still live.
We are still
No,
live.
and Jerry was the one that brought up sandbagging, and then me and Scully torched him. Torched.
The only person I think is who sandbagged that contest. They were the only one that's bigger sandbag than Redneck Scientific. Politically incorrect.
You know you're saying this on.
I mean, I'll tell Jerry this. He always does that.
Is who?
Politically incorrect.
Oh, politically
Wes Garrett.
correct. Okay.
Oh, Wes Garrett?
Wes is the biggest sandbagger in the
He's a
world.
lot of things. Yeah. Wes is
But I
awesome.
love Wes. He's a good guy.
There's Jerry.
The only
Hey,
thing
Jason
is
got 5th place steak.
Congratulations, man.
Oh, I'm talking trash about you. I'm saying the only sandbagger is more sandbagger than you is Wes Garrett with politically incorrect.
This is so good. This might be my favorite day of all time.
You ready to kill me?
You know that Jerry's going to have a 719 tomorrow.
All that we're doing is just giving him a reason to kick our
We're
butt.
just torching the bear. That's all we're doing.
Poke the bear.
Dad has never gotten one of these big trucks. So.
That's what I'm
Wow.
talking about.
Hollis just laid down. Hollis just laid down a monster.
Just in case you couldn't hear that in live podcast.
Come here, Hall.
Hollis Holt.
Say it
Just
again,
said-
buddy.
Say it again.
Say
My
about
dad
your.
has not gotten one of these big trucks.
His dad has not gotten one of these big Happy Gilmore checks.
Hollis Holt needs a ride home from.
No,
He'll be ready to leave Saturday evening or Sunday morning.
Hollis Holt has a ride
Buddy.
as of right now.
Buddy, we will get you home. Don't you worry about it.
Well, if I'm on the ride right now,
Good job,
how
Hollis.
am I in the podcast right now?
Being
He's got a
recorded.
ride. Hold on, in the back of the truck.
No,
In the back of the truck.
Good job, Hollis, buddy.
Good job, Hollis. Congratulations, Justin.
Hey, Kaner. We're recording the
Oh, here,
podcast.
you
You
need
want
to
to come
come
get
sit in
on
this
it?
chair.
All right. Oh, Mayor here.
Here, you need to sit right here.
Right here, bud. Right here.
What are we talking about? Rock and roll.
Well, no, man. So we're here with Kaner.
Oh, you're alive now.
Yep. We're not live, but
You're recording.
we're here with Kaner.
Okay.
Kaner is a, how do you say it? Former mayor? Past mayor?
Ex-mayor.
Ex-mayor of Wise, Virginia.
Yeah.
He,
20 some years.
yes.
But when
Also one of the best citizens of Wise.
but when you think of me and you see me, I'd rather you see me as a drummer. And
Okay.
all of my real friends.
He's also a rock and roll guy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
His band starts tomorrow at 1:30, Brian, so we got to turn Brisket in early. We got to go down there.
Crack a beer and go.
Yeah, we got to go. So a lot of people asked, well, not a lot of people, but like 3 people have asked me, like, where has the saying "mayor said" come from? And it's because when Kaner was mayor,
Right.
and we were up here in our spot, and I had to get my truck in here and park and get out of here, and the cops and the guys were like,
Yeah.
"No, you can't do
leave the
this."
truck
And I
there.
said,
Right.
"Mayor said."
Mayor said.
Mayor said, and they left immediately.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm like, God, Mayor said gets you a lot in one.
Well, yeah, it does. And it's also like about the second year we had this. I'll tell you another story.
Yeah.
I was mayor at that time too, and I saw a cop that had pulled a car over because we take all the traffic off of Main Street and put them on the back streets.
Yeah.
And this car had come through, and we did a roll and stop at the stop sign. It didn't stop and went on. Well, the cop turns on the lights and pulls them over. So I go up to them, and I was like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" Well, they didn't stop at the stop sign. And I was like, "You can't. We want people in and out of this town as fast as possible. You know, if they want to do a roll and stop during chilling and grilling, and they don't have to stop at the stop signs, we don't want them stopping. We want them going through. In fact, let's cover up the stop signs." And he said, "Okay." And then he goes up and he goes, "Well, I was just going to warn you, but the mayor said that we're not going to stop people for not going to stop
Mayor
signs."
said.
So he said, "This weekend, you don't have to stop at stop signs in the town of Wise."
You got to come.
So I said, "Okay." So that's that's a true story.
No shit.
Got a golden ticket.
That is a
Did
true
you do
story.
steak?
No, sir.
The mayor did not want to stop you, but we got a golden ticket walking
Oh,
this way.
yeah, that's more
I think
important.
We also got George DeMart's here.
We got George DeMarce from
Twisted Pear. One of the best awards things I've ever seen. George got his first call and fell down.
Yeah. Brown Water might have been talking a little bit.
Maybe. And also George got tricked into going to a rodeo in Currituck, North Carolina.
And did it.
And, well, he did dizzy bat and fell in a face full of bull poop. And I about died laughing. If I saw that video right now, I would be on the floor laughing.
I think we have it somewhere.
It's so good.
You have it on video.
Somebody has a golden ticket.
All right, you gotta come over, girls.
Come over.
All right, we got Susan and Teresa here.
Yeah, you can have my seat.
Come sit.
You got to tell us all about it.
We're on podcast right now.
We're recording.
So
yeah.
what did you win? What is this?
I won a whopping $125
But-
and a golden ticket to Fort Worth, Texas.
Awesome.
Boom.
World Championship.
Did you win the ancillary?
Yes, sir, I did.
Bacon.
With anything bacon. Don't ask me what I made because then everybody in the country
I
will
don't
wanna
want
do
to tell
it.
nobody because I love you and I want you to go down there and kill them.
Was it a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich?
No, sir, it was
Okay.
not.
Well, that's
But
what I
I'll give you a
always
little bit
like.
of a hint. It was more on the sweet side.
I got you.
All right. That's about all I can do for you.
Candy.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
Congratulations
for those
on
of you
Thank
listening
you.
that will hear this, Susan and Teresa are two of the best people in the world.
They're awesome.
And they're always around barbecue, and they're amazing cooks. They ran a seafood shop for a long time. You're both retired now, yes?
Yes, sir.
But two of the most outstanding cooks in the world.
And cooked for years with
people
Dizzy
don't
Pig.
even know that. Cooked for years with Dizzy Pig, and
I
Ancillary Champs
I'm
Chair.
today years old when I learned that.
Really,
Yeah.
Known
Yeah,
y'all
they're
for
awesome.
years now, and I'm today years old when I learned
Remember that?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. I had no idea.
I can tell you right now, Brian, the two best cooks in Wise, Virginia, right now are right here.
And it's not you, I. Or
It's
Jerry.
not me. It's definitely not Jerry. It's
It's Kim.
Jerry night.
Jerry, maybe it's me now since I'm in your
No,
seat.
you got the golden seat. You got the golden
seat.
Got the golden
Got
ticket,
ticket,
golden
you got
how
seat.
cool is this?
Wow.
That's badass.
Do you care if I take a picture of you all with the golden
No, sir,
ticket?
you go
Okay.
right ahead.
That was nothing that made me happier.
How about Hollis Holt?
And
That's awesome.
Say my dad doesn't have any of his big
lean
checks.
over, lean
My
over,
dad's
lean
got
down,
his
lean
big
down. Hey,
checks.
come over, come
He
over.
actually said that.
We want more
Oh.
people in this.
Told you.
He totally
come on.
buttholed his
The whole
dad.
middle of
It was so good.
There we go. There we go. We got it. Well, I got it. You got it. Wait a minute. 1, 2. Put the beer down. Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3.
We just took a good picture.
That's awesome.
Yes.
They gave out pretty cool medals too.
Yeah, it is. It's really neat.
But Hollis
Brian,
Holt, the kid that won the pork chop, he comes over and he's on the podcast. He goes, "My dad doesn't have any of these big checks." my God! It might have been the best thing ever.
That's a pretty solid.
When he done that, it was
You are
so.
going to put that out there, right?
This is all going out there.
Oh my God!
There's so
He
much
is so
gold in this
excited when he
podcast.
has-
This is a good one.
I mean, we
you haven't
had.
introduced you to other person. We
I already said that. I already
Yeah,
talked
we
about.
did.
Yeah.
Good picture.
There we go.
Yes.
Nice.
You know what? When you get this many good people, this is why barbecue is great. Everybody, I asked the question, "What's the best thing that comes out of you for barbecue?" And everybody always
never
says the
barbecue.
people.
It's,
never
it's
barbecue.
family.
It's the people.
That's right.
Right, and I'm surrounded right now by like 10 of the best people in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
never barbecue.
Mayor,
Yeah.
Georgie, Brian, Susan, Teresa, Kimmy, Jerry. I mean,
Thomas.
Thomas.
There you go.
He's back there.
That's
He's
even
super
better.
quiet.
Thomas.
He's going to sneak up on you and win a world championship.
That's what he does. That's what he does. I mean, Thomas is one of the best people I've ever met in barbecue. And the fact that we all come here to Wise.
That's the main thing.
I mean, it's good to say that about
Everybody
barbecue in
is set up
general,
for it.
but Wise,
Well,
Man.
you do know what our motto is. Wise, Virginia, the place to be. That's
Well,
it. The place to
This
be.
is the top favorite place that we have always. We have never missed this.
This
one.
is home.
From the very
No.
beginning, we've always come to this.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I say we love Wise.
Mayor always pushing.
Oh, yeah.
Mayor always pushing.
That's
You
what I
might not
thought
be-
you said.
Yeah, you might be done
I mean,
there,
it's
but
interesting.
you
So I'm
still
only
there.
4 years.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only 4 years into Wise. So this is in the first year that I came to Wise, I knew that I was always going to come back here. As
Yeah.
long as there is a contest in Wise, I
You'll
will
be
be
here.
here.
Great.
Yeah.
When I stop
Thank you.
cooking barbecue, I will always come to Wise, Virginia.
Yeah. Still
And
come
I will
back.
always cook this contest. And I will always be on this corner. And I told Kim tonight, when I die and you cremate me, I want to be put in that yard right there.
Wise in.
No, right there.
Just right there in front
Oh,
of
right
the
here in front of the
Right
courthouse.
beside my spot.
I'll take care of that for you.
I want to be right beside my spot.
You can help that dogwood tree grow a little
This
bit.
is my favorite. Like tonight, Greg Cross gave us an anniversary cake. If y'all want a cake,
A whole cake.
but when I talk about it on the podcast, and people are always like, or other podcasts, they're like, "What's your favorite contest?" I'm like, "Wise Virginia." It is.
Now,
They take the ultimate care of the cooks.
Yeah.
They care about what you do. They care about how you feel.
They take care of the judges too.
They take care of the
do.
judges.
They do.
The mean lady at the end's fine. We can deal with her.
we had to because she's been there about a year and we can't get rid of her.
Hey, Cater.
So, I mean,
Brian
that's it.
over here didn't know that the end was haunted.
Oh, yeah, it is. Wait a minute, before we go there, I got another question. You were
see
talking
you
about
struck a chord.
your anniversary,
Yes.
and you talking about Greg Cross gave you a cake.
Yeah.
Did you receive anything
Oh
else?
my God!
Yes,
Yes,
we got 2 bottles of wine from Kaner,
and Kaner
yes.
and his wife, they gave us 2 bottles of wine.
Okay. Because I was getting
And-
ready to say,
no,
I
I
gave
already-
her money to go buy 2 bottles of wine.
We brought that up earlier.
Okay, I didn't know she had given it to you. If you
No.
had said no, she didn't give me anything, I'm going to go, hey, who'd you give that wine to? You didn't give it to the right people.
We brought that up. We said, Mayor's wife brought us wine. We had a cake. It's like coming home. Driving 7 hours to come home.
You are home.
Always.
Absolutely.
That's why when I win the lottery, I
Well,
said it several times.
I
I'm
love
buying the wines
everybody,
in.
But I will tell you this. Greg, about a week ago, Greg said, we're going to have more people here than we've ever had before. It'll be a record-breaking number for Chilling and Grilling this year. And my first question was,
Can we take care of it?
no, is Luke going to be there? And he said,
course.
yes, of course. And I went, okay, great.
Well,
What else
next
you
time
need?
you're going to have to say, is George, is
Mayor said-
Brian, is Teresa,
Right.
is
Mayor
Susan,
said-
are
Mayor
they
said-
all gonna be there?
Mayor said I could do it.
All right, now let's go to the haunted. Or you happen to be in room 245 or 247?
Shit, no.
Okay, you'll be glad because those 2 rooms are haunted for sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
I'll tell
little
you,
girl.
if I was in that room, I swear to God,
He's
It is. It's a
been
little
so
girl.
upset.
It's a little girl, and she may go through some other rooms, but there's 3 different
she
stories.
may go to other rooms.
Because I'll tell you what, but
He's
the
being
people
real
that
good.
have complained about the little
He's
girl
upset.
yelling or keeping them awake or she's
is
skipping or she's
upset.
going down the hall singing have all come from
Now
245
you
and
just screwed
247.
him up so bad.
You just helped our cook tomorrow.
Oh, you're done.
I mean,
The worst part is,
don't
And-
get in your head like
And
that.
this has happened. This is not like happened once and then a month later they said something. This has happened over like 2.5 decades. like 25 to 30 years. It was a story.
Shitloads of consistency.
Yeah, and the story that I know the best was the one about the guy that's a businessman, and he was in here, and he called down to the front desk, and he said, "Ma'am, you're going to have to do something about this little girl that's singing and skipping down the hallway." And then she said, "Okay, I'll come up and take care of it." She walks up 2 or 3 times during the night after the phone call, could not find any little girl. They started asking about it, and then come to find out that night when he checked out the next morning, the call that it would happen at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, she was still on call at 7 o'clock when he left. Well, he said, "Did you ever find out who the little girl was?" And the woman said, "Sir, I want to tell you something. We've searched all of our records. There is no little girl staying in the Wise Inn tonight. She wasn't in there." And he said, "I'm telling you, I could hear a little girl skipping down the hallway singing." And now that's one story. About 10 to 12 years later, there's another guy that calls from the same room about a girl that comes by, knocks on his door, and leaves. And he can hear she's like laughing and giggling. Okay, he does the same complaints. The reason I know this is because the woman that worked there for years, 30 or 40 years, would tell these stories, and she said that's the same room that other guy was in that was complaining 10 years ago. And so that's how the whole thing got started. And there's a total of 3 stories that she would tell you, but that's the one that I know the best. I've heard the other 2, but I can't remember them enough to repeat them. But that's the story that I remember the most. Yeah. True story. True story. But she's friendly. They say she's real nice. And she's laughing. She's giggling. She's skipping up and down the hallway. Yeah. Okay.
None of the ghosts are mean here.
No, they're not mean. She apparently
we got
is
Brant
a very
Williams
nice person.
here.
Brant Williams.
Pig and Whiskey's here. He's got a bottle of something.
Cheers, everybody.
Susan and Teresa are there. Congrats to Susan and Teresa.
Yes, Susan Teresa.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
So that's both of y'all, right? World Food, both of y'all going next year? Confirmed?
Brant, sit down, dude.
It's not this year.
Oh, Virginia.
But,
They don't get a
Sorry,
this year.
we'll
It's for
play.
yeah,
next
this year.
Well, he said you go next year.
No, he doesn't know.
He don't know what show he's doing.
No, Jerry's full of shit.
You recording for your podcast?
Yeah?
Very cool.
Yeah, we're on 1 hour 46 minutes of some of the best shit ever.
That's a lot of editing.
These people.
There will be none. There will
So
be
you
no
just
editing.
throw it out and leave it out there.
I have a monthly podcast where I talk to pitmasters about their, or weekly, and but I love to do. This is obviously the best thing I've ever done. I think we've done. This is great.
Roundtable.
This is fantastic. Brant has a giant bottle
Of Sprite?
Bullet,
Is that Sprite?
and it's cold, and it's huge. Wow, these are all things that nobody says around Brant.
Cold. Well, that's just not true.
Giant.
Should I just drink right on?
Now,
it?
what's your name again?
Brant.
Brant. Okay, Luke, you know who my now favorite person is?
Who's Brant?
Brant. You're my second favorite person.
You better stop right
To
now.
chillin' and grillin'.
Listen. Brant, you're on a bit of a walkabout.
Yeah.
How many weeks on the road do you spend doing barbecue in a row?
In a row?
How much will this year be?
It'll be about 3 months before I make it back home.
Wow.
Wow, and you're going to how many states?
Ooh, jeez.
You can't even count
2,
that.
3, 5, 6 or 7. Probably driving across about 10 or 15 more.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, is the town of Wise not your favorite place to go?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, there you go. That's what we wanted to hear.
I mean, it's second
I feel like
only to
Tanner's taking
Galax.
over my podcast.
Galax.
Wow! That's some bullshit right there. They wrote a song about Galax, Jerry.
Listen,
Galax,
I
don't
used to know the mayor of Galax.
God, what's it like to be the mayor of the town that's voted the worst place to live in Virginia for like 11 years straight?
I don't know.
It's horrible.
You wouldn't know.
That's my guy.
How many years, Mayor, again? Can we repeat that?
Yeah,
We need to
24 years.
24 years.
When you get a rerun of
The
Cater.
worst place to live in Virginia, but one of the best places.
Right. The place you want to be.
That's it.
So I got to ask a question.
All right.
24 years mayor,
Yeah, off and on.
off and on.
Yeah, I've been on council since 1990.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're not running again.
No.
As I can tell, you really, really love Wise, Virginia,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
rightfully so. You
Yeah,
should.
yeah.
Why not run again?
Well, I've been doing it. I was on planning commission on 1987.
Okay.
So 3 years on planning commission before I got on council since 1990. So you're looking, and I've got 3 more years to go. I
Okay.
just got reelected.
Okay.
So my
Congratulations.
term will be 3 more years. So, I'm in my mid 60s. So by the time I get off, I'm gonna be in my late 60s.
You're a young man.
My wife is gonna be
Absolutely.
retiring, and it's just time to let somebody else do it. I'm sure somebody else can do a better job than what I'm doing. Guarantee it. Somebody. But I will still be doing this. I'll still be helping Greg.
He's also a drummer in the band.
Yeah.
They go on stage tomorrow at 1:30, so we got to turn in brisket early.
And
We
go
go
get
down there and heckle the shit out of it.
Hell yeah. I love it.
You call that a paradiddle?
Play more cowbell.
Kainer, you suck. You suck, Kainer. Yeah, that would be good. That would make
Mayor said.
That would make my day.
Mayor said. Mayor said I can take my shirt off.
Mayor said more cowbell.
Please don't.
Let's get 5 of them.
Yeah, Mayor said put it back on.
It was funny. We were at dinner and it was hot in there, and or I didn't want to get spaghetti on my shirt. And Hypes' daughter was there, and I was like, I guess I have to take my shirt off and eat dinner. And she goes, no. And I'm like, that's spiteful.
Yeah,
Mean.
that was so mean.
But truth. Right,
first, buddy.
so Brant goes on the road for like these enormous amounts of time and cooks. I asked this question to Thomas. I asked this question to everybody. Do you adjust your shit from place to place?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Not much though.
Yeah.
Like down
Trying to figure
south.
out regions and
Yeah, down south I'll be a little spicier with it. Down the Kansas City area. Up here I'm like, I don't even pull the cayenne out of the box.
No reason to.
No reason to. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're not used
I
to
think they like a lot more smoke down south than they do here.
Okay.
So I lighten up on the smoke.
You got to open up more and tell people all your secrets. Mostly me, Jerry, and Brian, and Thomas.
I don't know. I'm not having such
and
a great
George.
year this year, so you
Tell
don't
us
want to listen to me.
everything. Really? You're not?
Not as good as I did last year. I already had like four GCs
Wow.
by this time last year. I don't have any right now.
Listen, I'll tell you that you're talking about spilling stuff in your shirt. I don't know. It might have been you, but it was one of the competitors. And I made a comment about a shirt I had on. I was getting ready to eat some barbecue, and I said, well, I don't want to get it on my shirt. And the guy looked at me and said, I'm thinking it might have been you. And they said, I guarantee you, Mayor, these people, these barbecue competitors will respect you a whole lot more if you got barbecue sauce.
Not that
down
one.
your
Not
shirt.
Scully.
Not Scully.
Yeah.
Scully's the cleanest man in barbecue.
Oh, is it?
Y'all ruined the shirt already.
Really?
We did a YouTube
Wow.
video, and he had a little
How
spot
did
on his
you
shirt,
ruin a shirt?
and I called it out on the video, and he goes, I hate you. Didn't even break character.
It's in retirement.
You brought that up, the cleanest man in barbecue right here, dirtiest man in barbecue, probably a tie between. And you brought him up earlier, Brian
Ooh.
Turner, Mötley Crüe.
Oh,
He looks like
Dirty?
he tackled a sauce
Oh.
bottle like 4 or 5 times. And I mean, I'm up there. I'm not going to say it. I'm a dirty guy.
Yeah, I'm up there too.
BT is he's got some dirt.
Why
on his
don't you
shirt.
guys wear an apron?
You know, man, it's like, why didn't I do this 5 minutes after I already did something?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Hey, so I tell you what, a
It's
buddy
not
of
the
mine.
program, Luke. I don't have G telling me what
I
to do.
have put on my apron
but I
during
don't have
brisket
kids.
turn-ins before because that's when I remembered to do it.
Exactly.
Look, a buddy of mine just made me this really cool barbecue accoutrement that you guys will see tomorrow.
Accoutrement.
It's a scarf.
It's a naked man.
That's
With
made-
feathers on it?
Very light. No, it's a very light thing. Has little bourbon bottles on it.
Naked
and
man
then
with
right here at
sombrero?
the bottom is 2 towels. And on one side he embroidered
can't
my
wait to
logo,
see this.
and on the other side he embroidered the Outlaw Barbecue Smokers.
We're going to do a
And so,
TikTok
like-
tomorrow morning and making fun of this.
Yeah, we
You
need
can
to
make
see
fun of
that.
it all you want, but
I'm
I'm telling
not.
you, that
It
shit is
sounds
badass.
pretty neat. Yeah.
I mean,
Wear an
like-
apron.
well,
What's wrong with an apron?
I have like 6 in the trailer. I just can't ever remember to
My-
put
I'm going
them
to
on.
get you guys aprons
But I
from
will
my
tell you one
patty.
thing about Wise. Hey,
It's
Wise gives
amazing.
the best aprons They do.
I'm
They're
wearing-
they're big man apron.
Yes, I'm wearing the Wise apron tomorrow.
Yes,
I
me
sport
too.
The Wise apron.
I'm not wearing the Wise apron because I made Aunt Patty's apron, which is amazing.
I don't think I have a Wise apron.
It holds my
It's in
thermopen
your
here,
bag.
my
It's
phone
in your
here.
bag.
Yeah, that yellow bag.
Oh,
probably.
No,
she's
I got
getting ready
a
to start
glove and a
sewing.
towel. I didn't get a.
I'm gonna, my Aunt Patty. I'm gonna get you one.
Oh, whoa.
You're gonna be
If it's not, let me know.
Huh?
Aunt Patty selling aprons? Make it
Yeah.
right.
It should be in there.
You want to be a brand ambassador?
I'll be a brand ambassador.
I think everybody that's been on this podcast today could be a brand ambassador for my Aunt Patty's
I've
aprons.
had thermopen pocket in me before.
Oh, it's amazing. And then the phone goes right here.
Yeah.
And you're like, gloves here,
Oh, that's nice.
condoms, lube, everything you need. That was earlier, Mayor.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
I apologize,
That was a
Mayor.
whole different conversation.
Whole different conversation. This is the longest podcast of all time.
Now we're getting away from the barbecue.
Now we finish our chicken and ribs. In case you were wondering what happens in Virginia.
Yeah.
So I use a lot of black pepper in my finish.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I'll do that.
I use lube.
It makes a little spice in his life.
Lube,
I do whatever
black
Lil
pepper.
G says.
Best answer ever.
That's actually a really good move.
You know what? It's funny when you talk about teammates. You talk about trust. Like, I know what she tastes and what she says is way more important than what I say.
So you've learned that over the years.
Yeah.
Do
100%.
any other teams have problems, or do they disagree while they're trying to cook or do something?
I think as long as you cook with any kind of teammate, you're going to have some sort of a disagreement. I mean, I don't care if it's your wife,
So,
your girlfriend, your cook
yeah,
partner,
how do
your
you
cousin.
settle that?
You have to, one is it's historical.
Talk about it. Yeah, just keep talking
And
about it.
talking
Be like,
about it
why do you
especially
think it's better
afterwards.
over this one? Is it the tenderness?
Right.
Is it the taste?
Eventually, you have a time clock.
Really?
And you have to just make a call, whether right, wrong, or indifferent. You have to make a call,
Right.
and then you can talk about it for a length of time between now and next weekend about why
Brutal
one was better
honesty is
than the other.
best.
If
Brutal.
you get that score sheet, you can
Brutal
look,
honesty.
and one is going to sit there and go, "I told you it was
told
too
you."
spicy," and we got 3 comment cards. I
Right.
told you it was too sweet. We got 2 comment. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's not to say it's a pissing match.
Right.
But it's just the other person, if they're really competitive and if they really want to do well, they can look at it
Wait.
and go, "You
Comment
know what?
cards?
You're right.
What's
You were right
that?
that time. My palate was
I'll
wrong."
give you an example. Aiden,
Yeah, just join tomorrow.
couple of weeks ago.
That was actually a couple months, but I like the way you
A
think.
couple months ago. So we had a
Sounded like me.
Yeah,
we had a pretty good cook.
he enjoyed
And
it.
we go to pork and we get the pork, right? And I finish our pork box and it's got money muscle like everybody has, bacon like some folks do, and some tubes. And as we're taking the picture of the box that we're getting ready to turn in, and all of a sudden something hit me in my palate from the tubes that we tasted. I literally, Ed's sitting at the end of the tailgate, cook partner, getting ready to take the box, and I grabbed all the tubes and threw them in the trash can, adjusted the box, and we sent it. We go through the call. Where'd I end up, Jerry?
Second,
First in pork.
first,
The only
second brisket, first pork.
third. No, I'm just talking about the pork box.
Oh yeah,
But
no,
third
but
in
I thought
brisket,
you won it.
but
I
no,
couldn't figure
no.
out why you didn't win it. It
No,
was
we
like
won pork.
First pork, second brisket. It
We
was
were in
like,
the hunt, but third in pork, or first in pork. Rather. And there was that off taste, and they're yelling at me because the box was beautiful, and I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't care how pretty it is. It's out. And right call.
Right, and I mean, part of that is how do you, and I'm going to ask this question of all of you. Thomas, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
How do you relate to that gut feeling when it happens?
Which gut feeling?
Any gut feeling when you're cooking and you're like, man, like this isn't in my program, but this is some shit that I'm feeling.
So,
That makes sense?
Yeah. I'd say when it comes to cooking with a partner, so I cook most contests with my brother Greg. You mentioned trust earlier, so you have to trust the person that you're
Huge
cooking
thing.
with. And you have to know that, like, the stakes are high and you're both fucking locked in and, like, this is it. And yeah, you just gotta trust the other person.
Right. Brant?
So I'll make changes during the week, but never on the fly. So
Really?
I'm very much a plan the cook the plan.
Really?
And the only time I might adjust is at turn-ins if it needs a little more finishing rub or a little bit of something, but I'll never be like, oh, if I put this other rub on, I would never do that.
It's always a little more or a little less of what you would usually do.
Yeah, now sometimes during the week I'll think, man, I think here I'll do a little more Texas style because, we're kind of on the border of Arkansas and Texas. I'll do a little more black pepper.
You shift, though, where you are.
And then when I go into that cook, I've already planned that, and I do that.
And that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You plan to cook and cook the plan.
Yep.
Right. Georgie.
So I'm going to equate it to, I have a judge cooking with me this weekend. And
make him work.
Oh, he's been working.
Kill him.
He's been working.
All the ash, all the grease, all that shit.
Make him earn all them sixes.
He was like, oh my God. He said, you have a book that has a checklist in it, and you're following this list. He said, it's kind of like a pilot. For every aircraft that pilot flies, they have a checklist, right? And we check it off, and we check the boxes. And there are things that we change, and I'm kind of like Brian. Like driving up here, I was like, hey, what do you think about duck fat on this instead of squeeze butter?
Yeah.
Or something like that. But we won't do it this weekend. We'll test cook it somewhere else, right? But work the plan, plan the work.
Yeah.
And you got to trust. Trust is critical.
Yeah. Work the plan the work. That's fucking great. Scully.
I think the question was about your gut. How do you know if you need to go with your gut, whatever? So I equate it, think about not just cooking, but think about life. If you're about to do something wrong, and your gut tells you you're about to do something wrong, you either go through with it and do something wrong, or you change course and do something right.
Right, but what happens when you do that?
So
it happens.
It happens, but in my cook, I do the same thing. Like if I tell myself that I need to be, example.
All right.
You got your temp probe or whatever, blah blah blah, and your brisket, right? You open it up, you feel it, it's not quite there. What is the thing that you hear a lot of people say? It needs 15 more minutes.
Right.
Well, if you put it in there and you set a timer on your phone for 15 minutes, and let's call it 10 minutes go by, and your gut's really telling you,
pull it
now.
Yeah.
That's probably the right thing, not the wrong thing.
I would agree with that 100%.
And so I go with my gut in the right thing, not the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
All right. Dissertation time. Let's go.
Dr. Stephenson.
Because you feel like you are a gut cook, Jerry.
Yep. Oh, very much so.
You are, because
so. Yeah.
I think, and I've said this to people, and I've never said it publicly to you, I think you're the best gut cook in the country.
I do what the hell I want to do.
And now I get this.
I walk into the store.
That's something we all want to do.
I walk into the store today, or no, I'm sorry, on Tuesday, bought my chicken. The thighs look good, so I'm cooking thighs this weekend. But if I walk in there and the legs look good, I'm going to cook the legs. And I don't really care if I got a 180 the week before or whatever. It just looked better, and I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cook it. And I don't go in with any game plan. I've got a baseline of stuff that I do. I've got a timeline of stuff I kind of do. And every piece of meat is different. So it's like, why stay static? You got to be fluid. So what I do is just anticipate what's about to happen and not really what I think's about to happen, like what you were saying. Like, I think that's like the train's coming at you and you got to figure out what to do quick. But I change shit all the time. Like, my brisket recipe is different from what I was cooking last weekend down there because I forgot a rub and I was like, this looks good, so I'm cooking this tomorrow.
Yeah. You can't be stagnant.
Yeah. I agree with that. You got to be fluid.
You got to.
But and it drives traditionalists nuts.
Right.
I remember what I did.
I agree with it. You got to be fluid.
You got to.
I remember what I did last week. I remember what I did last year. I can tell you every single thing I did. I can tell you what rubs and everything I cooked here, years ago when we won, 2 years ago when we won. But tomorrow will be different. When I look at something and figure something out, it'll be.
That's why it's good to have a G.
I think that's what pisses people off because
Little G.
I have no clue what I'm doing half the time.
Little G can tell you every recipe I've ever cooked.
The proteins are the proteins. The proteins will run a temperature and a timeline. Yeah. And what we do with the rubs and the seasoning and the timeline-ish. But the rubs, the seasoning, and the injections are what makes it.
Yep.
And it's not really what you do up to the boxing it. It's the 5 minutes before the box. before you close the lid. It's those 10 minutes.
So what you said with the meat is tomorrow I'm cooking Australian cow because I grabbed the wrong brisket. I was going to grab an Iowan cow or Idaho cow or wherever the hell they come from, Snake River Farms.
Idaho.
Idaho. I was going to cook an
Idaho, Brent.
But
I've been up there driving to the next contest.
They are.
So now I'm cooking Australian brisket, and I'm like, well,
fat's a little different, texture's a little different.
that's what you got. We're going to
got.
try something.
This kangaroo meat.
You know, it doesn't matter if it's the Idaho cow or the Australian cow.
Tenderness
When
is
it's
tender.
done,
It's done.
But I think what makes a good cook a great cook is being able to roll with those punches like that.
You have to.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, even today, like...
This ain't backyard. I mean, when I say backyard, I'm not talking about a contest.
You're talking about in your home.
We've all had buddies that have called us, and they go, it's a Tuesday, right? And they go, hey, man, quick question. I got some friends coming to watch the ball game at 6 o'clock on Saturday night, and I want to cook a brisket.
Yeah.
What do I do?
We
can't tell them what we do.
Right, it's not fair.
You can give them enough of a timeline and to cook it at this temperature, put this on it at this time.
You can dumb it down enough.
And when it gets to 200,
yeah.
pull it. And those people are going to say,
oh my God,
you should do competition.
And I use the term dumb it down, and I think that's wrong. Because it's not dumb it down.
It's making it simplistic.
It's making it simple and making it so people could make good food at home.
Those people are eating a sandwich.
You had a question, Kaner.
Yeah, I got an amateur question for you. Y'all are talking rubs. I've been hearing that many times.
Yep.
I don't think any of y'all have said sauce. So do you not put sauce on your brisket, or explain to me the difference between a rub and the sauce?
We all use the same sauce. That's why we're not talking.
Oh, okay.
Nah, it's not. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, that's why
so when you talk about competition barbecue, Kaner,
I'm kidding, of course.
We're all doing a contest to see who can cook it to the best tenderness.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And Jerry's idea of tenderness maybe differs from mine by like a little bit. Brian's is maybe a touch hair.
You know,
George is different. We're all in the same ballpark.
But do you put sauce on it?
Absolutely.
Oh, you do. Yes.
The guys,
when you turn it in, do you put a
depends.
layer of sauce on it?
See, so
it depends.
So
it depends. That's the gut.
So you slice the brisket.
That's the gut, though.
You eat it, and then you gotta. But it's funny. It's like you go to the Midwest. If you don't take your flat out of the wrap and pour sauce all over the top, put it on the microwave shelf for 7 minutes, you're done.
You
might as well not even cook.
And if you're up north, like Michigan, if you are dunking your sauces in sauce,
sweet as fuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sauce and dunking the
sweet as shit.
Back here laughing.
Yeah.
Tom, I asked this question an hour and a half ago, and you did not tell us that.
I went.
He's in Cali. He's not.
Yeah,
I went
totally different in Cali.
I went to Michigan last year, and Luke was there, and somebody's told me that. They said, "Man, just dunk your slices in sauce." I was like, "Really?"
I won brisket that next day.
I first place brisket from doing that.
I dripped it.
Yeah.
See,
cover the back of it with sauce.
Yeah.
Well, years ago, I heard another thing that how to win a what do you call it, People's Choice Award.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "Well, I can tell you how to win a People's Choice Award. Overcook your meat and drown it in sauce."
And there's another key to People's Choice. If you're serving it to the public, the key is convincing them it's the best barbecue they've ever had because they don't know the difference.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I know how to win People's Choice. I'm not sharing it on the podcast. Y'all can kiss my ass. I learned the formula. I know the formula. Y'all can suck it. Not happening.
Suck it.
The best part was People's Choice in Pinehurst, North Carolina. Kim went, "We won People's Choice." I went, "How you know?" She goes, "I saw the big check."
Walk it up.
She was not very discreet with it at all.
I agree with that check. I'm like, we won People's Choice. I see our names clearly.
Oh, I would be so mad
I know
for
that's
someone
probably not a
telling
good
me.
thing, is it?
Hey, I was sitting at
Normally
the
there was a
table and I
curse
like,
of that.
this fucking sucks.
We did pretty
lost.
good that day. I mean, Jerry burned his whole
You
upside
heard
down.
it too.
Our shit was horrible
It was fun.
that day, to be clear.
This is the best podcast ever, just because Jerry brought up sandbagging. It wasn't me or you, Brian. And he brought it up. And then we got to torch him. It was the best thing ever. All right.
So,
what you got?
listen, I've got a couple of things. We got finished with talking about the town of Wise. I got a
Yes,
couple
sir.
of things I want to tell you about the town of Wise.
Okay.
Roger Maris broke Babe Ruth's home run. This ain't got anything to do with barbecue.
Okay.
Town Wise. Roger Maris broke Babe Ruth's home run record. Who was the pitcher that threw the ball?
Oh, Jerry. Who was the pitcher?
Nobody's going to know.
That I do not know.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Wise?
His name is Tracy Stallard. And where was he born and raised?
Wise.
That's right. He's from Wise, Virginia. Yes. Now, one of Bart Starr's, Green Bay Packers quarterback, one of his favorite and best receivers in the early years was a guy by the name of Carroll Dell, number 84. He's got 3 Super Bowl rings. Where does Carroll Dell, where is he from, and where does he currently live today?
Wise.
No. No. He lives in Wise, Virginia. He lives right outside, about 1 mile from right here, right past the college.
I want to know
Still
if the Galax people know that Wise hates them so much.
We love Galax, man.
Nobody loves Galax.
I know Bobby Horton.
It's the
in Galax.
worst place to live in
Bobby
Virginia.
Horton's a great guy.
I'm going
For
to
10
Galax
years.
For the very first time ever next weekend.
Get the
Talk
fiddle.
to him. Tell him about how great Wise is.
Get a fiddle and leave.
Right, now,
Yeah.
hey,
There's
have you
nothing
seen,
good
I
there.
want a fiddle so bad I can't stand
You've
it.
heard the movie Loretta Lynn, Coal Miner's Daughter?
Yeah.
Where was that filmed?
Wise.
That was filmed in Wise, Virginia.
Was it
Yes,
really?
it was.
When
In
I
and
want my
around Wise.
fiddle,
The
I'll be
fairground shot was out
never
there,
coming back.
fairgrounds. A whole lot of the stuff that they did
That's
was
what I
here.
wanted.
Some of it was in eastern Kentucky. A lot of it was in Appalachia. Most of it was indoor stuff was filmed in the Piggly Wiggly warehouse down in Norton. A lot of the indoor things, like the bar scenes and all this stuff. All the kids, like all her sisters and brothers, were all from Wise and Norton. But yeah, Sissy Spacek.
Super Bowl champion lives right outside town.
Yeah, right
Is he
past the
coming
college.
tomorrow?
I don't know. Carol's getting up in age. He's probably in his
Yeah,
upper
we're
80s,
done.
lower 90s.
Yeah, I got people. in my
Actually,
Hey,
his wife talked to my
all right.
wife last night.
Yeah, it's
and it
time.
was
Cater, I love you.
okay, man.
It is.
Come to Wise.
It's an hour past all of our bedtime.
Yep.
Peace out.
Georgie's going to bed. I want to thank everybody that's been on here. Brian, thank you.
Yes, sir, brother.
Jerry,
Fun.
thank you.
Fuck you, I'm no sandbagger.
100%
Look, man,
sandbagger.
you got a
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Sorry, that was
Brand-
your
man.
reaction.
I watched
Thomas.
you blow cold air across your
Thomas,
face
you're
last
going to be
year.
the next episode after this.
Anytime.
We need to have you on here. Little G, it's our wedding anniversary, baby.
Yes, it
Oh, Lord.
And you got 2
love
bottles
you.
of
Where's
wine.
this going?
is. I don't know.
I love you.
Love you too, babe.
We love you, Luke.
22 years that I never thought I'd ever have. Love
Happy
you.
anniversary.
It's been an adventure.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast. Be sure to subscribe and like the podcast, rate the podcast, and to share it out with all your friends. Also, be sure to check out the Old Virginia Smoke YouTube channel as well. Tune in next week for another great episode of Pitmaster. For companies interested in advertising, please contact Old Virginia Smoke directly via www.oldvirginiasmoke.com. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is edited by Chris Sedenka. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is a property of Old Virginia Smoke, LLC. All rights reserved.
Old Virginia Smoke.